here, living that rich life, baby. Here again with my tea and another book that I read this month. This one's called Inside the Magic Kingdom. Get this hair out of my face. By Tom Connolly, and it's about 7 keys to Disney's success. And this is a pretty good business book. Pretty good. Well, I started everything off right. This hair, I gotta get a haircut. I think the haircut is coming. I've been trying a new thing where I'm growing it out, kind of like shaving the sides a little bit, just letting it top grow out. It's almost time for a haircut. Anyways, where to start with this one? I'm gonna make this one short and sweet because it's really not that dense of a book, idea-wise. Like a lot of the books I read will be like science books where they have to go through and like soil science, for example, and they gotta talk about the mycorrhizae and then the fungus relationship with the plant and the soil and whatever. This one is not dense. It has 7 very simple, I believe it's 6 or 7 very simple lessons, and then it's extrapolated out by through these different characters that Tom creates as a business learning group that goes through Disney and checks out all these different details and practices and sees different things through that lens. And it's a fictional group, but all these examples he uses are real. And then the points are very real too. So, just getting right into it. It's a pretty basic book, so I'm not gonna have a lot of mumbo jumbo here. First lesson was the competition is anyone the customer compares you with. The competition is anyone the customer compares you with. So a lot of times businesses will be in one industry and think the customer is comparing them with people in that industry. Like if you're an automotive parts store, you think that you're only compared with other automotive parts stores. But the customer is really comparing you with everyone that he comes into contact with, whether it's Disney, FedEx, Amazon, whatever. The ease and convenience and customer service and attentiveness and product quality of your store as an automotive store is going to be compared to Amazon, is going to be compared to Disney, is going to be compared to everyone, because the customer daily interacts with this, and he or she will judge you on that experience in comparison with the other people. Lesson 2, pay fantastic attention to detail. The best example of this in Disney. The best example of this in Disney is the hitching post in their kind of western scene area at Disneyland or Disney World. And these hitching posts are repainted every night, so the paint is perfect, and the timing of the painting is done in accordance with weather and humidity, and that will decide what time the posts get painted at night. And why this is important is because when people come to Disney, this is part of their expectations. They expect it to be perfect. Even these little details, while they might not value it on a level that's conscious, there's a subconscious level that takes into account all of these little details, from the hitching post to the ice cream truck to whatever, and like how clean it is and how well it's put together. And in my own life, I find that I do that with myself. So for example, I think you'll notice this too. If you clean your house and you live in a clean environment, you act and feel differently. So these little details, they make a difference on a subconscious level. Lesson 3 is everybody walks the talk. From the ice cream clerk to the president, everybody walks the talk. Being friendly, coordinating with customer service. Really, there's two parts to this. One, it's like everybody's there to keep the place nice, to keep the place clean. Everybody is in the business of customer service. So whether it's the shipping department or the people on the telephones, they're both in customer service, and they both have to be oriented towards that. And the president can't be above being friendly or following the rules or making a great experience for a customer, because it sets an example for all the people underneath as well as that interaction with whoever or whatever they're interacting with. Lesson 4, everything walks the talk. Disney gave a good example of one of the carousels having actual 14 karat gold paint on it, and then in the Hall of Presidents, the president's clothing was stitched in authentic ways, with authentic stitch patterns from the time era, and with authentic materials from the era, and in an authentic style from the era. And while these details may go unnoticed by most of the customers, it gives a certain depth that allows fanatics to get into, and then it also is known by the employees, and it gives that level of pride to the employees to communicate that with other people, or even just to be proud of working there, and it makes it a better place to work in. Lesson 5, customers are best heard through many ears. Whether it's from surveys from people with laptops, or surveys online, to what a waiter has to say about the feedback they're getting from certain dishes or certain things. They gave an example of how the executives got tired of the food and they wanted to switch it up and change it, make something new, but the people coming in loved the food, and it was new to them. It was their time at Disneyland. This is what they expected from Disneyland. It was just the executives getting bored, and it was a top-down decision that they ended up not going through with because it was not oriented to the customer and what the customer wanted. Lesson 6, reward, recognize, and celebrate. This is all about feedback, this lesson. The main premise here is you have to give about 3 to 1 positive to negative feedback. So 3 positive examples or 3 positive praises for 1 negative correction to an employee. To celebrate employees, to have employees be celebrated by each other, and because it gives a form of psychological payment and appreciation to that human, and it makes them feel part of their tribe, it makes them feel appreciated, it makes them feel wanted and needed, and like they're doing a good job, and gives them reinforcement to do more good jobs. And then of course they need to be paid. So, but both are needed. They gave an example like what's more important, water or food? Well, they both are. If you don't have water, if you don't have money, you're not going to come to work. But if you don't get any food, you'll die a slow death, and just like over a few weeks you'll just die out. So Lesson 7, final lesson. Everyone makes a difference. Whether it's, the janitor or I don't know, whether it's, customer service representative or whatever, everyone is there for a reason. Like, if you're paying somebody to be there, they're making a difference. Appreciate them, and everyone is important. And they also kind of tied this last lesson in with a recognition and rewarding lesson from before. They gave a great example of how they got Epcot Center to be done on time with hiring out a bunch of subcontractors and stuff. While they weren't part of Disney, they treated them like they were cast members of Disney and they were part of the family. They had like one Sunday every month where they would bring their family in and they would show their family like, oh, this is what Dad's working on as a subcontractor, like you're working on Disney. And they would have like a news, like not a newspaper, yeah, like a weekly flyer newspaper talking about, like electrical engineering stuff or building this building over here, and they interviewed people, made everyone feel important, and because they were, and then the job, they gave the status of like certain things, and I think that's why the job got finished on time, was because they made everyone feel cohesive, like part of the family, and they all walked to the step of the drummer. And so that was it was a very simple and very, very valuable business book, and I really liked it. So that's what I got for you. Thanks guys for listening. Peace out.